Alright, so this is going to be the tutorial for negotiations, first level. So you're going to hit new game, timing starts when you hit new game, and then slash when you get into the cantina. It saves a little bit of time. Then you're just going to slash the next room as well, and then go into negotiations. So there are multiple ways to play negotiations. The first way, which is the OG way, the way we used to play it, is mainly one-player strats, and has no cutscene skip. And the second way, which is the way a few of the top runners play it now, is the 1P2C, the extended 1P2C, and the Droidica cutscene skip, which is a little bit more reset heavy, but it does save a few seconds. So with one-player strats, right when you gain control, just force the door, and you're gonna force all these packs of droids as you're walking past them. And it's important when you're in this hallway to be conscious of keeping minimal studs, because we want to finish the level with 0 studs. Because if we finish the level with 0 studs, we don't have to watch the True Jedi status screen. After you force the last 2 droids, you're going to switch Qui-Gon to TC, and then use the panel as TC, and then call in Obi-Wan. And you want to avoid these studs with Obi-Wan. You don't want to pick up any studs with him. Build the panel with him, use the panel as TC, and then drop player 2 out. Then switch to Obi-Wan, force this gate, and go on through. And you're just going to head right and trigger the droidicas. And coming up here, we're going to take an intentional death to get some invincibility frames, so that the droids can't shoot us when we force this platform. This also helps us lose some studs. Then just stand on the right button, Qui-Gon will follow suit. And then you're going to go past the panel and call in TC, and he should drop in warp a little bit closer to the panel. And you're just going to take an intentional death with Obi-Wan so that he loses all of his studs. And hopefully, by here, you would have ended the level with 0 studs. If you do end up having more studs, it usually is faster to take another death, as ending the level with just 10 studs loses 7 seconds. So you'll see here, normally after this screen, you would see the True Jedi status screen and the studs go in, but since we ended with 0 studs, we don't actually see that here. After this status screen, you're going to continue story. I went to the cantina, but just continue story. And then you're going to save cancel, and you're going to save cancel all the way up until Rebel Attack. And then next we have the 1P2C strats.
Once you press new game, immediately when you see that you're loaded into the game, you do a jump slash because it saves a very small amount of time, and then drop in P2 while you're doing that, and then go through the episode 1, do another jump slash, and then do another jump slash after that. And they save very small amounts of time, so you don't have to do them, but they're not very difficult, so it's highly recommended that you do them. Once you've loaded into the level, immediately hold down force with P1 to force the door open, and have P2 get ahead of him. And while you're doing that, have P2 slam all the droids in the front, and then force the other droids after that. Once you turn this corner, it's going to be about dodging shots, making sure you have enough hearts for later on. And you're always going to be forcing the droids with P2, and trying to get P1 down that hallway to TC. Once you switch to TC, use the panel, and then force the little thing in the top left and build it with P2. And with P1 still on TC, use that panel, have P2 waiting at the door, and then once it opens, hold up and left with P2, and then force the door open with P1 as Qui-Gon. And once you enter the next room, make sure to put Qui-Gon in this corner up here, and then put P2, make him jump on the thing, and then jump kind of far ahead, because if you jump ahead here, you can skip this cutscene that usually plays where the droidicas roll out, and if you do it correctly, the droids probably won't aggro on you, and you'll be able to force this thing in time. But immediately once you touch the ground up here, you're going to need to force this platform as fast as you can, before the droids come and shoot you. Climb up the thing with P2 and then wait on the button, and Qui-Gon should show up fast enough. And you can always drop him in a bit early to get him on the button quicker, and that'll save a little bit of time. And after that, you wait for P2 to die, and once he dies, you immediately drop out. And then with P1 as Qui-Gon, you go up to the top and get kind of far up to where the panel is at the bottom of your screen, and then you just spam the drop-in button, and it should drop you in as Obi-Wan, and then you can immediately switch to TC if TC spawns correctly. You'll be switching to TC, and then you'll use the panel as fast as you can, and hopefully P2 and P1 won't have any studs, and you'll just finish off the level.